Yeah, I may have to finish this later. Once this is installed, Midnight keeps rubbing on the laptop here and chewing on it and playing with the wires. So we'll see. Hopefully he calms down and stops being a little stinker. Um, Another thing is, I do have an external DVD. If you don't have a DVD player or a burner that works, you can download the ISO, and that's how I created my disk, is from my ISO file, and install WinMount, the same program or any virtual drive, and then you can install the driver pack on that virtual drive, and then you can install your drivers that way. So if you don't have an external and you're using nothing but USB, that's one way that you can do this without having to, hook all this up right here. Um, like I said, my internal drive on this doesn't work, so I'm having to use an external, and it's just a lot slower. It's old. It's an old Memorex that I usually just keep put away. But if you don't have an external drive and all you have is access to USB flash drives, download the driver pack solution. I suggest nothing bigger than 13 because anything else is extremely large. And install it, put it on your computer that way. Open WinMount, mount it, and then install it from there. It probably would have been a lot faster if I did it that way because, well, like I say, this is extremely old. This Memorex I have is really old. It's wore out, and it just takes forever to do anything with this. So, like I said, I may try to do a dual boot tonight, possibly. My girlfriend is going to be coming in at 8, and she told me if I get her on camera, she will absolutely kill me. So I have to do it when she's not here. Um, so hopefully, I get everything set up. I can show you everything before that. If not, I will stop this tonight and I will finish it tomorrow. So hopefully I get this done for you tonight. Like I say, I may try to do a triple boot. I'm not sure, but I do want to at least try to get it to where I can show you how to make a dual boot system. As you can see, some of this stuff's installing. So, or it just unhooked and hooked back up. I don't know. Um, no, there we go. There's the Wi-Fi adapter. So hopefully the Wi-Fi on here works. Everything works on here. And then I'll have to reboot. And then I'll show you when I come back. Okay, as you can see, XP's installed. This is a different version than what you're used to. A different look. Has a Vista theme to it. Like I said, I do have XP that I did buy and pay for, but I did not want to try to set it on this machine. Um, Now I'm going to install the program that will actually let me split this drive. It's Mini Tool Partition Wizard, free. Um, and this is so you don't have to actually go buy anything. I'm going to create a desktop shortcut. I'm going to install it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I can finish this. I'm going to launch it right now. I don't want to connect to the internet, so I'm going to cancel. I can close my flash drive. In fact, I can take out my flash drive. Um, I do have a video showing this. This is Partition Wizard 10. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to split the drive. Okay? So, partition. And let me see if I can actually split it with this. Right here. You click on it. It'll be C. split partition. Alright, now this will give you a choice of where you want it. I'm just going to leave it half and half. Better yet, I want to leave my C drive a little bit bigger because that has XP on it. And like I said, I do prefer XP. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and leave it 50-50, or pretty close. Because I did say I was going to try to install Linux. Once you hit your drive split, hit apply. As you can tell, the sound driver definitely works. Alright. And it'll ask to restart. You can definitely tell the sound works. It looks like the Wi-Fi is working. It's extremely loud, has a good picture to it. But I am not doing this to, tell you to just download XP. If you already have XP and you want to split your drive, so maybe you can go online a little bit easier, or have access to a little bit better programs that XP doesn't run, Windows 7 does, then that's why I'm showing you this. But on older computers, if you have XP, I recommend you stay with XP. It is much better of an operating system than Vista or even 7. And, that's up to you. Like I say, everything I'm having to do from USB. And you got to let this run through so it'll split your drive. And if I remember right, once it splits the drive, I'm not sure, but I believe I will have to go set up a drive letter on that. We'll see once it gets done. And this is going to take a little bit, so when this is done, I'll come back. Okay, once the programming gets done, you may have to restart twice. I'm not sure why it does that, but it does. Which, I mean, it's fine. You can see here, here's the new drive right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down, and I'm going to stick in a bootable USB Windows 7. Okay, and to do that, see that, I'm sorry about that, that's really loud. Apparently the drivers work really well for XP drivers on this, for generic Windows drivers. Now I'm going to let this sit a minute, and because it's been running a while. To make a bootable Windows 7 from an ISO file, I'd advise using Win2Flash. You don't have to mount anything. You don't have to run certain setups. You just have to install Win2Flash. You can use the Windows 7 USB DVD tool from Microsoft if you want. But Win2Flash does an extremely good job. Okay, and I've got to hurry with this video. My batteries in this are almost dead again. I just replaced these a couple days ago. Alright. Now, if my USB is in there correctly, it should boot from USB. Sometimes it's hard to get these little transformable USB things to stay out all the way. They just, I guess they're not made very well. Alright, I want to boot from USB. Windows is loading files. And what you want to do is absolutely put this on the new hard drive partition that you created. The original Windows was C. This one, the second drive it made was D. Okay, so you want to put it on the second drive. It may show up as C on this when trying to install this, so you just have to use your best judgment on this, because sometimes it does switch the drive that you're trying to install to, where it can make this one C and the other D. So let's see what it does, and hopefully I get this done in a hurry, which I doubt, since Windows 7 takes a while too, and especially on this laptop. But anyway, like I said, if you were trying to get an operating system on here off a USB, I'd advise, hooking up a mouse. I'm going to go install now. And then I'll have to pick the drive to set it up on. And like I said, I believe it would be D on this. Um, so, I can install different versions of Windows here. I'm going to install a, let's see, compact. Where is it? Right there. Oh, 64-bit. I have read the license agreement. Next. Now, we want custom advance on here. There would be partition 2, I do believe, and this should take care of it. Alright, I'll come back when everything's set up and I'll show you, basically what it did. Okay, this isn't done yet, but I wanted to show you this is installing Windows 7. Hopefully I got the right drive. I believe it would have been D, because XP was on C. And there are a lot of people that show you things that don't actually show you them actually installing anything. And I'm showing you this is actually installing. Now I'm not going to install the device drivers on Windows 7. What I will do is, once this gets done, I will probably just shut it down, throw on my Linux Mint USB, and see if I can make this a triple boot, because I'm actually going to overwrite this hard drive again anyway. This is the hard drive that actually came out of this machine. It's 160 gig. I have a 230 gig, I believe, 250 that goes in this machine that I actually already have Windows 7 on. But like I say, if you have XP, keep it. If you need to upgrade, you can upgrade through Windows 7 if you can get your hands on it. If you can't, you can upgrade with a version of Linux, such as Linux Mint. That's what I use, Linux Mint 19 Cinnamon. You could try Ubuntu or whatever you like. I prefer Mint. It has more of a Windows look and feel to it. So if you're used to Windows, I suggest Linux Mint. So let's just complete installing. It's still installing, and you can see. And then I will come back and I will show you 7. Of course, like I said, I will not install device drivers on this, and I'll take this out, and maybe I will have time tonight, maybe, to see if Linux Mint can go on here. I don't know, we'll see. If I can't get it tonight, I'll do it tomorrow, and hopefully I can get this to make a triple boot for you. I've never tried a triple boot. I do have a video where it has a double boot, as far as I believe XP and Windows 7, like I'm doing now. Hopefully this gives you a little information that you can use. I apologize, this video is going to be probably so big I'll probably have to split it down into 3 or 4 videos. Once again, if you already have XP, keep it. I mean, if you have to upgrade, don't overwrite XP. I mean, there are so many programs that you probably use on XP that you can't use on 7, such as Windows Movie Maker. If it says boot again, just let it run through. Alright, right here. Windows 7 earlier version of Windows, see that? If I go to earlier version of Windows, that will load XP. We want to load Windows 7. Alright. Like I say, if you have XP, keep it. It is one of the better operating systems. If you have to upgrade, try keeping XP if possible. You'll find a lot of games and programs you probably have will not run on 7 or even Vista. And Vista was obsolete the day they put it out. So, I believe, my personal belief is Windows 7 is what Vista was supposed to be from get go. So, you know, if everything I'm showing you is through flash drives, make sure you have flash drives that you can use. Um, Once again, I did use uh, a DVD ROM, an external, because the internal one on this is bad. Um, you can actually use USB to transfer everything onto this computer and just set it up from there. So, alright, I will come back when this starts because it's preparing it for the first computer use and all blah blah and all this other stuff I have to do. So, like I say, I mean, 7 is fine, but if you have XP and you have to upgrade, I do not recommend a triple booting system. I do not even recommend putting on Windows 7. 7 is on its way out within the next couple of years too. So I'd suggest if you're stuck with XP or have a older machine that runs XP, I suggest you do go to a Linux, like Linux Mint. Alright. And that's good enough. Um, and you don't want to install anything right now. I'm not even going to set the date and time on this. Actually, it's pretty close because the BIOS, but I'm in the mountain region. 7:31, pretty close. Okay, and once again, if you can, you're more than welcome to triple boot or dual boot, but make sure you absolutely have a huge hard drive if you're going to try this. XP, I would not use more than, I don't know, 300 gigs, something like that. It may go up, I believe, to 500 gigabytes XP. But if you're going to install Windows 7 or even Vista, Vista at least have 2 gigs of RAM. For 7, I'd have no less than 4. And see, it's going through this again. I do not touch any buttons. And then Windows 7 right there. And like I said, I apologize for the length of this video. I'm trying to get step by step on this. A lot of people just say they're doing this but don't show it to you, and I'm trying to actually show you that it's possible to dual boot an XP system and upgrade it without having to overwrite XP, because like I say, that is one of the better operating systems. Windows Media Player 9 can be upgraded to 10, and really easily, and then you can burn or whatever an MP3 if anybody even still does that anymore. Windows Paint on XP is much better, much easier to use. Movie Maker, much easier to use. So and like I say, all this is from ISO, USB. If you're going to do this, you'll either have to keep overwriting your USB flash drive, or you'll have to have at least 3 to do this with. Like I said, XP, I used a 4 gig flash drive. The Windows 7, I have a 8 gig flash drive that, some of these cheap flash drives off eBay that turn into little Ravage type robots. And Midnight just loves chewing on these things. He already broke one. So, but like I say, I mean, I'm not knocking any other Windows except for 10. It just stinks and it's nothing but spyware. Um, Even Vista had good qualities. 7, I don't like the media player on 7. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go here, my computer, and right here you can see 7 Service Pack 1, HP Compact. That's the ISO that this was created from. I'm going to unplug that, and right here is my XP. Okay, now like I said, I don't have any drivers on here, and this is not the biggest hard drive in the world to be doing this with. This is only 160 gigs. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, and we are going to both see, because like I said, I'm not putting drivers on this, if I can actually install Linux Mint on this as well. So I will be right back. Alright, you can see Mint is booting from this flash drive. This is the live Linux Mint Ubuntu. Most Linux come with a live CD type setup that lets you check it. Now, once again, I am not going to take this online because I do not want to update this because I'm absolutely overwriting this hard drive completely. So, you know, if this works, great. You know, now you know how to put triple boot on your system. If you have XP and you just need something to go online with, I would not triple boot it. I would download a version of Linux Mint. Like I said, this is 19 Cinnamon. It's a really good operating system. So, you know, I'd leave your XP like it is and just add Linux to go online with. I wouldn't even mess with Windows 7 unless you absolutely have to have Windows 7. You know, you're more than welcome to. This automatically does pick up the Wi-Fi card. Linux Mint does. And if you have not seen my other videos, you will see I do talk about Linux Mint a lot. Because one, it's free. See, now it's connected. I don't even know why I connected that. And now I'm going to see if I can install this right now with you watching. I don't know what it's going to do. I have never tried to make a triple boot on, well, even my laptop that I use over there. This laptop I got off Craigslist. It did not work when I got it. The power supply is bad. It was broken down here. I rigged it up. You know what? I guess I'll go ahead and install third party. This is going to take forever though. You know, and it does overheat. I did buy some thermal paste. Just the cheapest stuff on eBay. I got 15 packs of thermal paste for under $5. It's probably cheaper than that. I mean, it's like $1.50 or something like that, I think, or $2. So, you know, it wasn't that much for 15 little packs of thermal paste. And I did order a new thermal pad for this. What I will probably do with this one is the same thing I've done with other laptops that I've got my hands on. I fixed them up and I've donated them to families that needed computers or laptops. If I do, this will make the third one I've donated. Now I want to install it next to, so I don't know. It says, I'm not sure if this will overwrite XP or not. So we're about to find out. Hopefully it doesn't, because I really do like XP, especially that version of XP. It just looks so much better. So we will see. Like I said, I've never tried to do a triple boot, but if you have XP and you want to go online, just install Linux. I'm just gonna do this however it sets it up, because you know, like I say, I'm gonna overwrite this. So, you know, hopefully this does it for you. Hopefully this sets up right. I don't know. I really don't know what it's gonna do, because with Windows XP 7 and now Mint, like I said, I don't know what it's gonna do. I do know if you want to dual boot your machine, if you have XP and you want 7, that's fine. You can do it that way. Just do it the way I showed you with the partition manager, and you can install 7, but you have to have XP installed first. You cannot install XP if you already have 7. I really should have hooked up a mouse to this. And it'll download the files. I really shouldn't have downloaded anything, because this is going to take quite a while to download all this. But all this is going from USB. Like I said, if you have XP, you can upgrade to Windows 7 and keep XP. Or you can add Linux Mint. If you use Linux Mint, it's so much easier to pick your partition size than have to repartition it by hand. Basically, it asks you, and you have a slider basically that lets you pick your partition usually. So, like I said, I don't know what this is going to do. Your guess is as good as mine. I probably could have created 3 different partitions on the hard drive and did it that way, but you know what? Live and learn. So, anyway, we're going to see what this does. Hopefully, I have time to come back and show you before my girlfriend gets home. Because, like I said, if I put her on camera, she will absolutely slaughter me. So, anyway, I will come back when this is done. Okay, Linux Mint finished installing, and that was really quick compared to XP and even Windows 7. That's with downloading all the updates. So, like I say, once in a while, this little blinking light will stay on. Sometimes it'll go through. If it just stays on, just shut your computer down and then restart. Now, this is going to try to start from USB, which I actually should have pulled that out to make it boot from Windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this back down if Linux starts. Yeah, I don't want that. I'm going to just shut that down. Now, pull the flash drive out, and then we're going to restart. Now, I want to see if XP 7 and Linux are all on here. I'm not sure. If it is and you do this, I suggest nothing smaller than a 750 gig hard drive. I mean, like I say, I should have. There's Cinnamon, and let's see. I don't believe XP's on here, and it's not. I believe it overwrote. So if you want to make a triple boot, you will have to split the drive down first and install each part on an individual part of the drive. Because 7 is on here. Oh, no, it isn't. Here we go. I hit Windows 7. Now let's go for earlier version and see if XP is on here. That's what I wanted to see right there. Okay, so XP is on here. So I guess what you have to do is when the, yeah, we don't need system checked. Anytime you do something with the disk, it automatically wants to recheck that. So let's see if XP boots. Yeah, like I say, if you want to do this, I suggest using a much larger drive than this. Oh, that just looks so good. Alright. Here's Windows XP. And like I say, you can use any version of XP you want. If you already have an XP version, then you can use it and just put a different operating system on there. You know, like I said, if you have XP, I suggest you keep XP. XP will see Windows 7. Alright, XP's disk C. 38.5 gigs of space left. And then on Windows 7, there's 79.8. I believe that's right. Yeah, I'm not going to restart this because I don't care if it installed drivers or not. Like I said, I'm just going to overwrite this hard drive after we check all this. Wow, that's loud. So yes, you can put a dual, not a dual, but a triple boot on here. I am going to check each one of these for you to make sure they all work. And like I say, this excuse me, this little laptop just overheats so bad that I really hate working on this. I will be fixing this within the next couple weeks, hopefully. So if you do this to triple boot, you have to go to, see, there's Linux Mint on the top, Windows 7. Alright, now earlier version of Windows here is XP. Now let's check Windows 7. And you're more than welcome to do it. Just check if you feel more comfortable with it. I just skipped it. So the only bad thing about Windows, see, we're gonna skip this. You don't really need to go through that. You're more than welcome to. Wow, the sound on XP was much louder. I guess the driver for XP just works much better. Alright, here's Windows 7. Now I'm going to shut this down. Like I said, I didn't install any drivers on here because I honestly am going to delete this anyway, overwrite the entire hard drive. I hope I have enough battery power to show you Linux Mint. This little camcorder just eats batteries, and I am down to 1 bar and it's flicking. So hopefully I can show you Linux Mint, and I have enough battery power to transfer this to my other laptop over there, and you know, merge all the videos together where I start and stopped and all this. So alright, let's see it load Linux Mint. Oh, come on. I really think this thing just gets so hot. I mean, it does. What I may have to do is I may have to shut it down, leave it off for a minute, because it just gets so hot. So let me shut it down and I'll come back. Okay, I just shut it down for about 30 seconds, and here's Linux Mint Cinnamon 19. Let's check this part of the drive, make sure it runs. And like I say, XP and 7 are both on here, and Linux Mint is on here. So this would be a triple boot hard drive. if Linux Mint does run properly. I believe it should. But okay, there it is loading, and the first time it loads, it usually takes a little bit to load. You know that from my other videos. um, I do like Linux Mint. Between Linux Mint and Windows XP, you got it made. I mean, you can use Linux Mint to go online with, watch YouTube, you know, check your email, whatever. And with Windows XP, then you just got it made all the way around. But if you want 7 on there too, you know it'll now work. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this. Everything except for me installing the drivers for XP was done from USB, and it actually could have been done from USB. I just would have had to transfer the virtual CD DVD ROM over, run that program, install it on a virtual ROM, and then install it from there, like a DVD ROM. Okay, welcome to Linux Mint. Okay, here is a triple boot operating system, triple boot computer. Let's shut this down because I really don't need to do anything here. Like I say, I'm going to overwrite this hard drive. I appreciate you watching the video. I do apologize for the length of this. Like I say, I may have to split this down. If I don't, I apologize for the length. If I do, I apologize for you having to find part 2 or maybe even part 3. So anyway, now you know it's possible to put a triple boot on a computer that had Windows XP on it. And if you're going to do this, make sure you have XP on there first, because if you don't, Windows 7, Windows Vista will not let you install XP after those are already on the hard drive. That's why I'm saying it's just so much easier to split your drive down, keep XP, and put Linux Mint on there. But if you want, you're more than welcome to try this out. And everyone have a good night.